Today we're going to learn about how to make bar graphs, and I'm going to start by labeling a bar graph and then we're going to make some together. So the first thing that every bar graph needs is a title. Without a title, we have no idea what we're looking at. It's not worth doing. So make sure you have a title. The title of this graph is a pretty good title. It says Number of Police Officers in Crimeville 2011 to 2019. And then we know exactly what we're talking about, how many police officers work in this town. We know where, Crimeville, and we know when. We know the data was collected from the years 2011 to 2019. I can't take credit for this title because I copied and pasted this graph from Statistics Canada. They have a page about how to do bar graphing, so not my graph here, I just borrowed it. So that is our title. Over here on the left, we have the y-axis, and we have y-axis labels. So the labels here tell us that what we're measuring on the y-axis is how many police officers there were. Now, in the x-axis, or on the x-axis, which this is what that is, by the way, we also have labels. It tells us that on the x-axis, we are telling you what year we're looking at. So we're looking at data from 2011, for example, right there. We also have categories on the x-axis, all these guys where the dates are. They don't have to be dates, they could be other things too. You'll see that in a minute. And we, of course, have bars. That's where the bar graph gets its name from. And we have the scale. So this is the scale. The scale tells us what we're counting by. So when we're making our graph, you can decide if your scale is going to be, 1, where it's 1-to-1 correspondence. Each space is worth one answer or 1 hour or one, dog, whatever it is that you're graphing. Or if it's going to be more than 1 that you're counting by. So in this case, they're counting by tens. Each one of these spaces is not worth 1. It's actually worth many numbers. It's worth 10. So we say that in this case, we are using something called many-to-one correspondence. Because each of those little spaces, that's me pronouncing that word wrong. Each of those little spaces corresponds, or goes with, matches up with, represents more than one number, many numbers. So many-to-one correspondence. Now, if you're counting by 1, we call it 1-to-1 correspondence. So now we're going to make our own graph. This is going to be about favorite ice cream flavors among 5th graders at Lee Elementary. So imagine I went to this fictional school, surveyed all the 5th graders, and the numbers on the left told me how many kids liked chocolate, vanilla, strawberry best, how many had other favorite flavors, and how many just didn't like ice cream. So the first thing I need to do is something that the people who made this graph at Statistics Canada did not need to do. Probably what they did was they took this data, which in this case was fake, they're just trying to show a graph, and they probably popped it into Excel or some other program, and then that program spat out the graph and did the making of the graph for them. I have to do this from scratch. So while they just had this set up for them, and the computer probably decided the scale, I have to figure out the scale myself, and I have only a limited amount of space, so I need to be very careful. So I counted earlier, and I realized that I had 16 rows. I cannot use 1-to-1 correspondence because I will run out of rows if I need to get up to 25 for my tallest bar. So I'm going to count by 2s. If I count by 2s, I'm going to get up to about 30-ish, 32, 30-ish on this graph with 16 rows. But if I count by 3s, I'm going to have a way higher number, and that's too big. I don't want my y-axis to be that big and have all that empty space at the top. It's going to make my data look insignificant, and I don't need that. So I'm going to keep my y-axis only a little bit bigger than my actual graph. So let's start by counting by 2s. And I want to stop and point out what I'm not doing here. So I'm going to point out what a lot of kids will do that is incorrect. Oops, well, they won't start counting by 1s after counting by 2s, I hope. Oh my gosh, I did it again. Okay, 8, 10, 12. So do you see how when you're counting by whatever you're counting by, but when you're writing and they're putting the numbers in the spaces here, it gets a little bit tricky to figure out. So is this half of 12? Is this where 12 starts? Is this where 12 starts? If you do something for 12.5 hours, is this 12.5? Or is this 13? Is this 12? It's very confusing. So we always make sure that the numbers line up with the lines. So what I mean by that is if the line was to extend out, it would like poke the letter in the stomach. We don't want the number to be sitting on the line like that. We want it to be lined up with the line. Now, if you don't want to like sit here and watch me count by twos, I would highly suggest that you go into the little gear button at the bottom of my video and you hit like 1.5 speed or something just to speed this up so you don't have to sit and watch me color this in slow motion, which I'm going to do in a minute. Well, it's not going to be slow motion, but it may feel like it for you. Okay, so here I have my y-axis, and now I'm going to make my x-axis labels. So I had chocolate, I had vanilla, I had strawberry, other, and none. Note that I did do other and none. Imagine if I didn't have other and none, and then I was like, what's your favorite flavor? And someone said mint. I'd be like, okay, but do you like strawberry best, vanilla, or chocolate? And they'd be like, no, I like mint. You'd be stuck, right? So you need an other. And what if they said, actually, I'm vegan, I don't eat ice cream at all, or I just like hate ice cream? Then you, again, have no way to represent that data. So you always want to make sure that you add categories that are enough. You have enough categories to represent every possible answer. Now, if you wanted to say, like, which of these flavors do you prefer, chocolate, vanilla, strawberry, that's fine. Because saying which of these limits them to those 3 options. But I didn't word it that way, so I needed other and none. Okay, so now comes the part where maybe you might want to speed this up a little bit. I'm going to get 25, how do I say it? Not 25 bars, but like, I'm going to account for 25 respondents. Now, I can't actually color in 25 boxes because remember, each box is worth 2. And there's no 25 on the graph, so I'm gonna have to go like this and try to. That's a little bit bigger than I'd wanted it to be, if I'm being honest. Try to go like that. So now I've colored in about half that box. So if I color in all the other ones underneath, it's a little bit messier than I think I would like it to be on paper, but I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of hard to do this on glass. I'm drawing this on the iPad right now, so it's kind of slippery. So there, that's worth 25 because it's almost to 26. It is halfway before 25 and 26. And now I'm going to color in the whole thing. And I'm going to try not to do it messy because I want my bar graph to look, you know, reasonably decent. And I also don't want it to look like maybe it's not actually worth 25. Like maybe I only colored it in a little bit, like most of the way because it's only most of 25. But no, I want it to be very clear that this is completely 25 people who said chocolate. And then vanilla. 15. So again, I need to do a half box situation where I want to be halfway between 14 and 15. And then strawberry was 22. I'll do strawberry yellow. I should have color coded them so they match the color of the ice cream. That would have been cute, but oh well. That ship sailed very quickly. And then other was 19. So again, gonna have to fill in half a box. Halfway between 18 and 20 is 19. I really didn't want to give myself any even numbers when I chose these numbers randomly because in case you hadn't guessed, I did not actually find a Lee Elementary and survey these kids. I just made up the numbers. Okay, and none, 3. So halfway between 2 and 4. If you were coloring this, I might say, like, try not to go outside the lines of the graph. But again, I'm having a slippery time over here. I'm writing on glass. Okay, so I have my x-axis categories. I have my y-axis. I have my bars. What am I missing? I have my scale. I have a title. I don't have my labels. So here, I might put something like 5th grade students. I will say these labels are sometimes optional because I kind of think that this graph was clear without it, but that's okay. 5th grade students, and then this is going to be tight. I did not give myself very much space. Flavors. I'm going to make that capitalized just so that it doesn't look like it says strawberry flavors because there's not enough space to make it separated from the strawberry. Okay, let's do another graph. Do you have a cat? So in this one, I went somewhere, doesn't say where, and I asked a bunch of kids if they had cats, or a bunch of people if they had cats. 10 people had cats, 15 people did not, and then 8 people didn't have a cat, but they actually had more than one. So I'm going to graph this with 1-to-1 correspondence. I know right away I can graph it with one-to-one correspondence because I have 16 rows, but my biggest number is 15. So I don't need to count by 2s or 3s or 4s or 10s or millions. I can just count by 1s. So I will. Now I'm going to start at 0. But before I actually start at 0, I want to show you what would happen if I didn't start at 0. Let's say I started at like 5. Okay, so I'm going to go 5, 6, 7, 8. This is very bad, by the way. Do not copy me. I'm doing a bad thing. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So that's my highest one. Let's, for the sake of finishing this video relatively quickly, I won't keep going. So I'm going to do some very messy coloring again, which don't need to do that in real life, but we're going to do it here. So this is our yes column. This is our no column. Terrible messy coloring, okay? Don't copy me. Do as I say, not as I do. And then more than one cat, 8. Now look at how big the difference looks between 10 and 15. That looks like a pretty significant difference. At this point in the game, it kind of looks like 10 is half of 15. Like if we cut this out and then we glued it here, it kind of looks like we could fit 2 10s into 15. But can we fit 2 10s into 15? No, 10 is 2/3 of 15. So we shouldn't have the difference look this big. The reason that it looks this big is because we didn't start with 0. We did something called truncating the graph. We made a truncated graph. That's bad. We don't want a truncated graph. We don't want to fool people into thinking that there's a bigger difference there than there actually is. So we need to start at 0 no matter what. I don't care if you've seen graphs that don't start at 0. Those graphs were bad graphs. Don't make bad graphs. So let's start fresh and do it the way that we actually want to do it. I guess I can just like do this as well. Probably didn't save that much time in the end. Okay, here we go. We're going to start at 0. And we're making sure that our numbers are lined up with the line and they're not sitting on the line. They're getting poked right in the stomach. Okay, and my categories are yes, no, more than, and more than one cat. I have 5 columns, but I only have 3 answers. So I'm going to go like answer, empty column, answer, empty column, answer, so that it's spaced out and that it's not all like squished together with all this extra space. So yes, I have a cat. Ooh, this is giving me a hard time writing in here. Doesn't want to stay. Okay, that's unfortunate that I had to do that. No, I do not have a cat, and I have more than one cat. If I could move this little annotation thing where my markers are at the bottom, I would, but it's not cooperating with me in OneDrive. It doesn't want to move. So those were my answers. And yes, let's do the yes column first. So we're going to color it a nice, neat 10, or neat enough. Again, it's on an iPad. Doing my best here. It's just slippery. So 10 people have cats. 15 people did not have cats. Those poor people, they don't know the joy of cats. That's okay. I didn't have cats for years and I was just fine. I just realized that's not where I put my answer because I was going to leave space. So 15 people, no cats. But it's going to be finicky about me coloring to the bottom. Ah, that bugs me so much. I wish I could move that. Okay, well, in real life, I would color that in all the way to the bottom. More than one cat. I do like that. Oh, look at me go. I can if I zoom in. And then more than one cat was 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And now, if you look at this graph, again, I gotta get that little bit there, that's bugging me. Okay, now you can see that 10 is not half of 15. So the number of people who do have cats is not half of the number of people who don't have cats. It's 2/3. So it's quite a bit more than half. And that's correct now. It looks correct because we didn't truncate the graph. We started at 0. Now, I personally am not a big fan of the title of this. I gave it this title, but I would like to be more specific. So I'm definitely going to add y-axis labels to tell people who responded, who my respondents were. So in this case, I'm going to say, do you have a cat? And then my y-axis labels are going to say, student is going to say students in division 2. I'll be so specific here. Okay, at Lee Elementary, 2024. So we know exactly where they were, and when I asked them, wow, that printing is messy, but that's okay. And I'm not going to put any x-axis labels down there because I think that those categories are pretty clear. Also, I'm kind of running out of space. So I've got my y-axis labels, I have my y-axis, I have my scale, which is 1-to-1 correspondence, I have title, I have bars, and I have my x-axis labeled. I'm good. I'm done.